Okay, productizers, let's actually start building your business. The first step is to choose a market that you'd like to target. Deciding on this market is a crucial decision, but this lesson, along with the accompanying worksheet, should help you avoid choosing a bad market. So first, you might be thinking, why would I need to choose a specific market? Isn't that going to limit the number of clients that I can work with? Won't I be leaving money on the table? And those are all valid questions, so let's talk about why I recommend targeting a niche. First, it's easier to market. From a search engine optimization standpoint, choosing a particular niche is a big advantage. This allows you to focus on less competitive keywords to rank for. For example, instead of trying to rank for website design company, you can rank for restaurant website design company. But further, it means you can have much more focused and therefore higher converting messaging on your site. You can speak directly to your target customer instead of casting a wide net and seeing what you can catch. And that leads into the second reason to choose a niche. It's easier to build trust. When you're targeting a very specific type of client, that person will be much more likely to trust you. Just put yourself in your target customer's shoes. Let's say Sally owns a restaurant. Who do you think she's going to be more excited to work with? Johnny's web design company or Restaurant Rocket, a restaurant web design company focused on creating beautiful and mobile responsive websites for restaurants? Restaurant Rocket, right? Sally will immediately trust Restaurant Rocket more because it understands her specifically and has expertise in the restaurant industry. And with that increased trust, the sales process becomes easier. Once you've done a few website designs, you'll start being able to use your portfolio as a tool to help close deals. Which portfolio will be a better sales tool to convince Sally? A portfolio with a dentist, a landscaper, and a mom and pop store? Or a portfolio with 6 beautifully designed restaurant websites? The latter, of course. And so the sales become easier because Sally can envision what working with you is going to be like and what it will produce. And finally, when you choose a niche, it becomes much easier to productize your offering. Restaurant Rocket knows that with every client, they'll need to post the hours that the restaurant is open, post a menu, and have a location page. So they can document these requirements and therefore be able to more quickly build sites for these clients. And using a tool like Offsprout, which we'll discuss later, Restaurant Rocket can even create a setup routine that does a lot of this work for them because the process is so predictable. So hopefully by now you're convinced that you should choose a niche. And remember, you can always expand or spin off a new brand in a different niche later. But we're trying to build and scale this company as quickly as possible. And in order to do that, you need to niche up. But what niche should you choose? Well, ask yourself some questions. First, where do you have expertise? Have you done any freelancing? If so, was it concentrated more in a particular niche? Do you have experience in a given field? For example, maybe you've worked with another company in that field. Maybe you worked as a waiter or waitress at Sally's restaurant, so you know a lot about restaurants and their needs. Maybe you're a hobbyist photographer, so you could help other photographers build and market their websites. Next, do you have a lot of connections in a particular market? Do you have family members, close friends, acquaintances you can reach out to be your initial customers? Maybe you have a friend or family member who knows a lot of people in a particular market and could connect you. And finally, where do you have interest? You're going to be spending a lot of time meeting, talking to, and learning about the people in this market. If you're not interested in the market, that will make those conversations harder and more tedious. Alright, so now we've established that we should niche up. We've established some initial criteria for choosing a market, but you may be deciding between a few different potential markets. Luckily, we have a worksheet to help you with that. Go to productized.com/DL and download our documents cache if you haven't already, and then find the High Value Market Finder. Here's what the High Value Market Finder should look like. You'll notice that I've already included a number of possible markets. Now, by no means is this a complete or comprehensive list. It's purely to get you started. You may have some other ideas for markets that you might want to pursue, so just plug them into the 5 custom market slots at the bottom of the sheet. You'll see them right here. To see explanations of how to figure out a grade between 1 and 10 for each of these columns, you'll want to go to the explanations sheet. Here I've tried to give you some guidance as to what I think constitutes a 1 and a 10, and that's right here in the column definitions. Ultimately, you're looking for a score that's over 200. Although I'm sure you could make a business work if the score was under 200, I think you'll have a much harder time. If you get anything over 250, you've definitely got a winner. But anything over 200, and you'll be able to build a profitable business and scale it. In fact, JurisPage, my web design company, wasn't over 250.